here, mixing it up a little bit. We're gonna have a ZVT. We have Cross versus Sterling. Cross needs no introduction. He is a phenomenal Zerg player from Canada.
Yeah.
Always at the highest level. Has every build available to him. Just an amazing player.
Yeah, very flexible and well-rounded. We were talking a little bit about that off air just now. And Sterling will definitely have to pull something deep to get the better of him. I mean, he's not just your average like S-rank Zerg player. He's pretty high level of finesse as well, and able to adapt to. He's the kind of guy that will make. He'll go crazy Zerg, but he'll make some queens to ensnare your marines that try to sunken bust or something. You know, he's got a lot of like fancy tricks he likes to utilize. He will not be easy to deal with here.
Yeah, we've seen some Sterling, very solid play. You know, he's beaten some really big names, especially TVP. We've seen his builds are very cut and dry. He just hits a build, cuts some corners, gets after it, and that's kind of what we've seen so far. So being a fairly unknown player, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that as well from him, but not sure that's going to work versus Cross here. He's going to have to really play out these games because Cross is going to play standard, ready to get after it and do what he's got to do.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of adaptability to his standard play as well. So I'm a little bit concerned for Sterling.
Yeah, I think this will definitely be the biggest challenge he's faced, especially in a different matchup. Like we said, we've seen his TVP be very good. You know, he's taken out Dragon, he's taken out Bo, he's beaten some good players. Now let's see him versus in the matchup TVZ versus someone like Cross, because
and it's a different kettle of fish, right?
Yes, for sure. You're stepping up to the next level, the next tier of player.
Yeah, I mean, because with Terran versus Zerg, it's like glass cannon versus glass cannon. Your armies can just die so quickly. So much can happen in such little time. Whereas in Terran versus Protoss, you got a little bit of leeway. You can do some of your micro before the battle even takes place in the form of setting up mines and sieging up tanks spread apart and what have you. So yeah, I mean, much more mechanically demanding matchup. Most people can't seem to hang. You see players like Mong, which are really powerful macro powerhouses. They can hang in TVP, but when it comes to TVZ, they just fall apart.
Yeah. All right, our players are ready, so let's get into match number 1 here on Deja Vu. Alrighty, spawning in the bottom right, we have Cross. And in the top left, our Terran player, it is Sterling.
Well, he's going to have to be very Sterling indeed to be able to get one over Crossy here. I'm a little bit concerned for him. I mean, honestly, like, he would have more hope against going against a more specialized Zerg that he could kind of get a read for and try and counter the style more. But Crossy is so well-rounded and can kind of do a little bit of everything that I'm a little bit concerned for him. How is he going to deal with this?
Yeah, he's going to be on top of his game. I'm sure he's been practicing, getting stuff ready to go. We see that it seems like he's opening with the supply depot in the front for a block.
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to punish the Terran player going for these wall-ins. You can go for pull, but you need close distances to make that work to punish that. If you do respond well by pulling all the SCVs, you can still defend against a full pull. So very good advantage to take these natural expansions with a wall-in these days as Terran.
Yeah, it seems like we have a little bit of a black screen, unless that's just me right now, but
yeah,
seems that we have a little bit of technical difficulties. We are actually having another observer do this game, so the players can use turn rate 24 low since it's all NA. So we're just getting some of that sorted out really quickly, but I'm assuming we're going to see a pretty standard game here from Crossy. And he's just going to play a 2-hash muta, get after it, go for it. I've been watching him stream a little bit, and he's definitely playing a bunch and practicing. And you know, he's He's gonna be solid, man. He's gonna be very solid.
Yeah, I doubt that he'll be like Rhett and only has like waves of motivation where he plays for just a week here or there. I think like he's going to be putting in the work because you do want to be able to like dot your i's, cross your t's at this level. You can't be sloppy if you want to play at this level. You have to really commit and put in the effort.
Yeah, there's no real half measures when it comes to this level, right? You can't just show up and
Yeah.
get it done unless you are like top pro and you're just playing against some lower rated players. But other than that, you're gonna really be getting after it. So
Yeah, if you got a gap of a few hundred MMR, you might just barely get away with it. But even then, they've still got that puncher's chance. You don't really want to have to risk it.
yeah, but I'm excited. It's good to see new names coming onto the scene and people doing well. Sterling, I mean, making a
Yeah,
big splash to make it into a round of 8. Definitely not easy, for sure.
no.
So it's good to see that we got someone coming in, playing, getting after it, doing what they got to do to try to actually
I mean,
advance through.
even if he doesn't beat Cross, I'd still just be happy to see some good games here. I just want to see him perform and get a better read for him as a player. And in the future, he might be the guy to go all the way. You never know. You get these up and coming players that just rise from the ashes like a phoenix and suddenly take the stage, all by force and all at once. So it might not be this season, but another season he might come strong.
Yeah, I know listen, to make it to the round of 8 here is already insane and incredible.
Yeah.
Um, but now to step here, now you're playing with all the fire, right? Now you're really in
The
the
big leagues.
gladiators arena. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he has. Maybe he'll be able to pull it out and get it done. It's his map pick to start with Deja Vu. So hopefully he's got something planned, something ready to go.
Well,
Who knows, man? Maybe he'll pull out a BBS on Radeon, something crazy, see if he can catch Cross or not.
yeah, well, it's out of the amphitheater and into the Colosseum, though. Definitely a different kind of environment. He's gonna have to really step it up.
Yes, for sure. Because they're playing against these players. They're not gonna let you have any little bit of space, any little bit extra. They're gonna push it to the max, and that's gonna be the way it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. I mean, and this is the thing: is Cross isn't just a normal S rank Zerg. He's a 24 plus 100 S rank Zerg. This is a different level of fish entirely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
All right, I think we're sorting through some of these technical difficulties, and we're gonna
we're gonna
have
get it right.
a remake here.
Yeah, like Bill O'Reilly, we're gonna get it live. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right, and we're gonna do it live. Don't worry.
Absolutely. So let's see. Cross picks Radeon and Vermeer. So very, very standard stuff from him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you think that Sterling needs to do anything like really crazy in this series? Like, do we go like a two-port Wraith here at some point? Like, do we go really out of the wheelhouse, or do we just double down on our strengths and don't do anything too fancy because we don't want to like force ourselves to have to practice too a wide range of play and kind of like play too many steps ahead of ourselves.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to mix it up and do what you got to do. Just because, right? Like, if you're the player sometimes who's maybe you consider yourself a little weaker, why not mix in some different stuff? Why not throw some stuff maybe they're not ready for?
Yeah,
The only reason it's a tougher one or is harder is because these players have seen all these builds. They know the responses, right? Like, we're not playing against
yeah,
someone who's like, oh, I've never seen, like, they know all the answers. So you're gonna have to
right.
execute it well. But to throw it in there to mix it up would be great.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's almost like when you're watching StarCraft at a high level, it's almost like watching like a two cyborg AIs fight it out because they understand like the behavior trees so well that they're really like jostling for like any kind of tiny advantage to leverage because a tiny advantage is actually a pretty big deal at this level. So just having one tiny thing go right for you like can be enough to like tip the balance in some of these trades and early game skirmishes to really run away with the game entirely. And I'd love to see that like little tiny mini games being played throughout the whole stage of the full game as it transitions from early to late.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing this level, even like we saw in the last series, even little things like fake pressure, feints, right? Like, you're not
Yeah.
causing the stakes like per se, but you're making them think, okay, I got to do a certain thing. So the game changes. Like I'm making units instead of workers. Or because I'm getting like those little things at this level matter. Like those, I don't want to say mind games, but those little feints. Like it's almost like fake throwing a jab and then coming with an overhand right. You're
Right.
just setting up for them to drop their hands a little bit to do some punishment.
At the very least, you're forcing them to be honest, to make sure they're at least keeping their guard up and not trying to be a little bit greedy and lazy in the process. So you can punish them if that opportunity presents itself, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And those little edges you're talking about, those little advantages you're causing, are a big deal as you go down the line, right? Like
Yeah.
every little piece that you get ahead just gets you more ahead as the game goes on.
Yeah, StarCraft is a game where you take the tiny little advantage you get and somehow turn that into a massive, gigantic snowball over the course of many interactions.
Righty, looks like we're back to our game. We had a remake here. Now we have Sterling top left and Crossy top right. What's interesting is Deja Vu. We're mixing up only one of the bases again.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy we're back into this game here, and a little bit of technical difficulties, guys. Thank you for bearing with us. Yeah, looks like a very quick hatchery going to be coming out from our Terran player here. I'm not too surprised by that at all. I'm very, very unsurprised by that. I mean, he could go for a fast pull to try and punish the wall in or a CC first, but it usually doesn't pan out so well for the Zerg. So the hatchery first is the kind of tried and true way of playing.
You know, we have very standard here, right? Like the 2-minute gas, 2-minute pool, 12, 11, 10, like very standard from Cross here. As I kind of expected, him being such a high level player, just going to want to get into a game.
Right. Well, yeah, basically, like, he's not really caring too much about economic or lava optimizations. He just wants to make sure all his tech is, like, crisply timed so he can get a powerful mid-game timing going, so he can maintain control of the game state. The thing with Terran versus Zerg, once upon a time, we had 3 hatch before Lair, and that was the staple, and that means that the Mutalisks were hitting a whole minute later than usual with these 2 hatch timings. So the 2 hatch timing stops the Terran players getting away with murder and doing a whole range of builds and optimizations. So instead, keeping Terran on the back foot and controlling the pace of the game with these Mutalisk timings has been critical for Zergs to be able to stay on top.
Yeah, I think this 2-hatch style, when you're micro, especially turn rate 24 low, you can really show what you got. Crossy's going to show his micro and how crazy it is, and the punishment that it can come from these 2-hatch builds.
Yeah, and we're in 24 low, so we shouldn't have any hiccups in terms of like lag, making that a hard job of it. So we should see a pretty formidable force with these Mutalisks, causing Sterling an absolute headache and nightmare. Sterling doesn't seem to be spamming to warm up. He's playing at his absolute minimum, like already out of the gate. Like he's staying at like a cool like 200. I hope he's planning on speeding up later and he's just reserving his energy, because Crossy can fire on all cylinders at like 400 plus APM.
Yeah. Sterling's going to have to really make sure he is doing the little things to pressure Cross so Cross can't abuse his stuff as well.
Yeah, and this matchup is just so volatile. If you're playing bio, you can kind of circumnavigate some of those issues. If you are going mech, for example, you don't quite need to be as fast on your toes to keep up with the Zerg. But if you're going bio, you definitely do. It's the most mechanically demanding way of playing StarCraft in any matchup. So needs to be playing at his absolute A game, does Sterling, to keep up with Crossy here. Some Zerglings being made. He wants to avoid making Sunkens if he can at all possible, and just try and keep him contained with the worry of a speedling run by might be enough to not even need to make any Sunkens here.
Absolutely. Here we see that little bit of pressure back and forth already, right? Like just trying to make sure both players are being honest. Cross putting the link. Oh, trying to pick off the Marine as it comes out. Like that from him.
Yeah, this is good. And he's taken the natural expansion in the bottom right, so it gives him a very easy access to a 4th gas, and he can build Sunkens down there and make it a worthwhile investment. So could set himself up nicely for either a standard play or Crazy Zerg, or pretty much anything he wants to do. I'm really liking this setup from Crossy thus far.
Yeah, I think we have we went 1 Rax, eBay, Academy in the main with a +1 going. seems to be the way it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Where Cross just his Spire should be done here shortly. Almost got that medic.
Yeah, I thought for a second he was going to get this round on that medic. It would have been crazy, but doesn't able to do so. Finally starting to move out onto the map with this usual 5-minute timing being delayed a little bit to like 5 minutes 30. Not really having the confidence to push out. He's really feels like he's just tucked in. He's not even going to try and put on any pressure at all until turrets are online. I think he's going to be playing from the back foot right from the get-go, and that doesn't spell very highly for his confidence going forward. I'm a little bit concerned. Already taking one on Marine kill here and there as they come out from this bottom-sided barracks. This is really good confidence-boosting stuff from cRossy. He's going to smell blood in the water. Look at these exposed SCVs.
Yeah, this was a 1-1-1. Didn't expect this here where we're going to, or look, maybe even a Valk build, but we went right in the factory, right in the starport. Only 4 muta right now flying around.
Yeah, but 4 muta are enough to 2-shot SCVs, and exactly what he's trying to do. A bit of a misfire there, doesn't quite kill them. But look at the Lynx coming into natural expansion, manages to pick off one of those turrets as well. Yeah, with 1-1-1, you have such a flimsy setup because you're only producing a bare minimal amount of units. So cRossy really trying to exploit this with the bare minimal count of Mutalisk. He hasn't really got a big flock going. Now finally has a flock of 9, and now can start to do some big damage by one-shotting these SCVs in the natural expansion. SCVs already waiting to preemptively repair some of these turrets. This is crazy stuff. Big damage being done to the Terran player here.
Yeah, you see cRoss already has the Scourge out, waiting for that 1-1-1 to kick in so he can snipe that vessel. Major damage to the SCVs here. We see only about 7 mining right now. Science facility going up, so it's going to be a little while here, Zun, until we can actually get that vessel out with the Irradiate. Man, we see so many SCVs going down.
You're not wrong, Raz. I mean, this is pretty brutal. You only need to kill like 6 or so SCVs to feel comfortable opening up 2-hatch muta like this going into the mid game, and he's killed that and more. Oh man, I mean, I don't know about this. I feel like he might have taken just a little bit too much damage, and now we see some drones being squeezed out. We could even see, like, here's the thing, is that if he wanted to, he could probably go like all in mutas on 3-hatch and still probably win this game because 1-1-1. So I don't think this is a good game for Sterling. I think like cRossy can win in any metric. He can go all in and try and kill him now, or he can just transition into a normal game and also kill him. And he's got this early Evo chamber and Queen's Nest. We might be seeing that crazy Zerg. I'm looking forward to it.
I think we're going to see crazy Zerg. I think cRossy's recognizing you have no army.
Yeah.
Like you've been on 1 rack to get, you went for a science facility to get that your vessel, but you also went to E-base. Like, so your gas is absolutely tasked. He's been killing so many SCVs. I don't think cRoss is feeling any pressure right now to do anything crazy because Sterling can never move out. He has 7 Marines. So cRoss is feeling really good. He's been droning up crazy. I mean, look at that third base has so many. Look at just drones on top of drones.
He doesn't even have a single sunken, and there's only like 4 Mutalisks, but Sterling's just so hesitant to move out. He doesn't know how many additional mutas have been made. As far as he knows, there's a much more denser flock that will be microing against him, so he's worried to move out. And it's unfortunate because if he did somehow find the confidence to move out right now, he would at least force units from cRossy here. But instead, he's getting away with murder, making so many drones and like hardly any defenses. Just a few small group of like 3 mutas and some Scourge, and then it's just nothing but drones back at home while going into full-on crazy. So this is crazy greed.
Yeah, I mean, double Evo, like you said, only 1 sunken at this point.
Wow.
Hive on the way with our first vessel out. I mean, he'll be really strong with the double upgrades if he ever moves out. I mean, we see that cRoss has a lead already with his supply, which at this point in the game is kind of crazy for Zerg. And oh my goodness, he's taking a 4th hatchery bottom left. cRoss not messing around at all. He's like, I am going to absolutely get after it this game.
Yeah, it's such a genius move, taking it in the bottom left and the bottom right as well, because you basically want to force the Terran to have to commit out of the map, out of position to kill it, and then all his eggs are in one basket, and then you can either counterattack or clean up the army, and there's just no real good option for the Terran player in that case. Tries to get a snipe on that vessel and does manage to get it. That's huge. That first vessel kill is really vital. Like, I don't know, like I'm feeling really shaky for Sterling now.
And I think cRoss is going to take another base.
Yeah.
And he's just feeling in the driver's seat right now. He is not worried. He has not made a single lurker. He is just playing the straight crazy Zerg, going to go right into Ultralisks, going to get those upgrades and get it done.
I mean, he's just got so much money. He can afford to just throw down hatcheries. And you do kind of want to double expand when you play this style. You kind of got leapfrog from 3 bases and into double expanding on either side of the map. So even if they do kill one of these gas expansions, it doesn't really matter. You've got a backup one. So usually you do see a lot of gas expansions with not much drones for minerals being set up around the map. Will not be too surprised to see a lot of Sunkens at these 2 bases and a lot of hatcheries sprouting out to try and pull these armies out of position. And then some counterattacks coming out of Crossy to take advantage of that. It will be a little while for these Kindness plating to be finished up. He's trying to catch this vessel. Can he get it? He does get the vessel.
Oh my goodness. Another vessel down. Cross just being crazy, man.
Yeah.
But the upgrades for Terran are really good. 2-1 already. Really strong versus just +1 carapace for the Ultra, so they still will melt them with a big enough force.
Yeah.
The problem is, can he actually get to a base with Sunkens and Ultras and actually go for it? That is going to be the trick. I mean, I think we're on 6 or 7 racks here, so we're pretty much all in for 2 bases.
Yeah, I mean, he did just kill the Mutalisk. I guess he technically could go for a dropship gambit to try and circumnavigate these Sunkens, but it's going to take him a little bit of time. I don't think he's invested in building those. There might have been a tiny window if he preemptively made the dropships. Maybe he could have gone for that, but I think the window's gone already. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to get that kind of damage that he needs done anymore. He will be able to reach somewhat of a critical mass of bioforces with these 2-1 upgrades, and maybe he can gun down these individual ultras that haven't got their full 1 yet done. So there will be a good minute or so, minute and a half, where maybe he can keep the gas pedal all the way pressed down, gunning down individual ultralisks, and eventually win out on trades. It's going to be very difficult with how many vessels he's lost, though.
Yeah, I think he needs to go for a bust. He's going to have to try to break. He might be able to get the natural here. I don't know how many Sunkens are there.
At least 5.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 5. Maybe that would be a little bit more challenging. I don't know if this is going to be enough from him, but this is his moment, right? He has to bust here. If he does not bust, and Cross wants this, right? Like, he's like, go ahead, radiate the Muta right now. Like,
that's what he wants, and he's chasing these mutas. This is the worst case scenario. Yeah, he shouldn't be even he should be completely ignoring these 3 mutas. He's got like 1 minute to make something happen. The Defiler Mound is just finished up. He'll have Consume ready any moment now. This is looking really rough. Oh my gosh, if he starts getting Plague as well as mass amount of Ultralisks, yeah, there's just no hope for Sterling going forward. Even if he does somehow get a 3rd base and somehow does manage to transition into BCs or something, it just won't be enough.
Yeah, I think his being on 2 base here, he doesn't recognize, I think, at all that Cross is on 4 bases, which is also part of the problem here. Well, and the longer this drags on, the better I think it is for Cross, right? Yeah. Like, he's going to get all his upgrades. He's going to have everything. He's on 4 gases.
Absolutely.
He's feeling good about it. He's trying to find value.
And it's only a matter of time before the +4 armor upgrade finishes. We got the +2.
This is the moment. Must win here.
Yeah. The +4 is just not barely done. A few more seconds and the armor will finish up. So he has this tiny window where he's got +2 armor upgrade as well to soak up against the Kaiser Blade damage increase. So he can technically take 2 shots without dying if the medic helps at all. So it's not looking too bad for Sterling. Like, there's some chance to trade, but with the Consume finished up and Dark Swarm, the orange cloud of death, the Cheeto dust on the controller, you hate to see it. How can you deal with this nightmare?
Not well with just pure Marine medic. So these Ultras go, even they're radiated and they're not worried about it, they'll just go stand in the middle.
Oh, this is not looking good. I don't like this for Sterling. I mean, he hasn't got the vessel count. Like, if he at least had a fleet of vessels, like 5-6 vessels at least, maybe there's some hope in this game, so we can keep chaining out the irradiates, start laying siege to some of these positions, but he just doesn't have the vessel count to do that. I mean, these Marines are more or less support units at this point. He needs vessels.
Yeah, right now we see Cross just getting up to another vessel down there. Just getting up to where he needs to be. He's waiting for that +4. Oh my goodness, eventually plague.
That
Oh,
plague.
my goodness.
So much chili sauce doused all over that Terran, making them even more tastier to just gobble up. So much biomass to add to the swarm. There is a few ultras coming in from behind as well. There is a
double
dropship gamble.
dropship.
Yeah, the double dropship gambit in the main base, but there is a defiler waiting. Like, seems like just Crossy is on top of everything this game, shutting this down pretty cost efficiently. Doesn't have Scourge, but has units in position to deal with that. Has a pretty good Nidus Canal network set up as well. He might be able to deal with this cost efficiently. A few drones already going down, though. There is the fighter. They're not quite in position. Does kind of make a few mistakes, so he loses a few additional drones. Another little tactical maneuver in the top right dropship. Does find some damage as well. He's starting to stress Crossy for the first time, but it might be too little too late.
Yeah, we see Crossy adding 2 more bases. So he's about to be 6 gas Zerg, which would be insane.
Yeah.
3-2 right now is the only timing. We're not seeing a third command center just yet from Sterling here. So things are definitely going to be a little bit trickier. We have a dropship flying around trying to get something done.
I mean, I'm really worried for Sterling. The win percentage just seems to keep plummeting in this game, and we're rapidly approaching 0 without this third gas online. There's just no hope for him. How does he keep up? Like, even if you're on like 3 base to 4 base and you're trading evenly with irradiates, even that like has a shelf life. So honestly, this is terrible for Sterling. Like, he might just like have to just GG it just based on trades alone. I don't even think like he necessarily needs to attack him to win this game. He would just trade and just like maintain the game state, and he wins by default.
Yeah, unfortunate here from him. I thought that dropship was going to fly along the bottom left so he could at least see some of the bases. I mean, Sterling doing what he can in this scenario, trying to make it happen, but Cross all over it. I mean, he's up 50 supply right now.
I mean, this is just like a weak reaction to a very strong virus, and he didn't treat the virus seriously enough, and he didn't contain the threat, and now the contagion has just completely spread to all corners of the map, and it looks like it's going to be the end for the Terran race, at least on this planet.
Yeah, now we see Cross moving in, and there's the GG from Sterling. Well played from him. Unfortunately, that he could not get that upgrade really bioforce together. Interesting build going 1-1-1 into double eBay, trying to get it up, but Cross not messing around, man. Those mutas did damage, hurt him, and then he just literally took the map. I mean, 7-8 base Zerg versus 2 base Terran. Really hard to fight against that.
I mean, you're feeling comfortable killing 6 SCVs going into that scenario, late game scenario. So killing that much, yeah, you're feeling like an absolute god. No wonder why you just like sat back and macroed and didn't even care. Like, oh, just wild stuff. What can you even do against it?
Now, Cross knew if he was on the map and he lost ultras, like things would be bad. He just had to sit there, wait for the defilers, swarm, plague.
Yeah.
I don't think Sterling knew about bottom left, unfortunately. So he might have thought he was up against 3 gas Zerg, but he was really up against 4.
He's probably scanning the bottom right, checking for that 4th gas timing, and didn't know when he took that bottom left. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, so a little bit of a tough start there. I mean, Cross playing very well, getting those 4 muta in, getting some damage done, seeing what he was up against, and picking what he needed to play against, and that's it. So, no only game 1, as we learned in the last series. Just because it's the first game doesn't mean anything.
Scout when I went 12 hats just in fear of that BBS. You gotta respect it.
Gotta sometimes just get crazy, man, as we saw with Sziky and John Hoon. Just get wild.
Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of have to. I think when you're playing up against Crossy and you're a little bit unfavored to win, you're not really like finding yourself in the matchup yet. Maybe you do just go kind of crazy and just like show absolute mad lad energy and go for some BBS type shenanigans. Maybe even like a 10-10-10 proxy factory or something.
Yeah, why not? Get real crazy with it. Just proxy the factory, land in his base on Radeon, why not?
Yeah, maybe something crazy would be nice to see. Although I don't think he'll necessarily find the confidence to go for that ballsy play. I think we will see something a lot more mid-rangey.
Yeah, which is, like we said, is also fine if that's what you prep for. I think when you go into series and you prep, it's hard to get away from what you have prepped and what you're ready for, because
Yeah.
that's what you have planned, and you should stick to what you have planned.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes and breaks those great players, though, because they're comfortable adapting. They're comfortable just throwing the plan out the window and just like, making it up as they go. And you only see that kind of composure from like players of like Soul Key's ilk, and where they do almost seem like psychopathic in terms of their lack of emotion when reacting to very stressful situations and playing from behind.
Absolutely. And like we saw in the last series, you got to not let one game affect you, or two games. You just got to keep barreling forward and keep hitting your
Yeah.
builds, keep doing what you need to do. Stay focused, play your game.
Yep. Just, make sure you're clicking on the units, hitting the right timings, and I think we're ready. So we're going to jumping it into game number 2 now on Radion.
Alrighty, game number 2. Here we go. In the bottom right, we have Sterling. And in the bottom left, we have Crossy.
Now the question is, were you waiting for him to switch camera, or was he waiting for you to start speaking to switch camera?
I don't know. I just thought we'd go for it. Push it out there.
Okay, what's your predictions? Will we see some kind of tiebreaker scenario where Sterling's able to like punch back? He has got to punch his chance. It's not like you'll be completely clean swept here. Do you think there's going to be a little bit back and forth?
I thought we were going to see like an 8 racks or something a little different than going just standard, but maybe Sterling thinks he can punch back by just playing his normal game. So
yeah,
I think there's always a chance. Why not? Sterling's made it this far. He's shown his abilities. Why can't he take games and win at this level when he did in the round of 16?
but unfortunately, he has got this horizontal spawn, which means you do have a much quicker route of Mutalisks getting to your natural expansion. Now, it does allow you to optimize your turret defenses for your natural expansion, so we may see Crossy circumnavigate the natural right away with his initial Mutalisks and just try and dive onto the Terran production and main base area, which will probably not be as fortified. Usually, Terrans are, prioritizing the turret zones closest to the Zerg.
Yeah, that definitely adds a layer for Crossy to be a little bit stronger here. I was watching this SCV. I thought maybe he was going to make a second barracks, Just get real crazy.
Do you remember like some Terrans will like even build their barracks where the CC is supposed to go, because the first like couple of seconds of building stage looks identical to a CC, so if they don't click on it, they won't even realize. That's
why Queen didn't make it into SSL.
Can you believe that, guys? Just think about that.
That's kind of crazy. Losing to a 2100 Terran. It was Queen. And that guy's MMR is like 3K. So
and then we had the game where the guy clicked on the mineral patch and assumed he wasn't there, and cannon rushed the wrong position.
It happens.
It happens. It happens, boys. It's a crazy game.
Cross so good at this moving shot with his drone. Oh my goodness. Takes the first SCV. First blood goes to Cross.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of blood is good in this matchup. You want to have the psychological win, even if it is only a small moral victory. Having that SCV killed with the drone, it does feel so good to be able to get that early on. They don't know what's coming. For all they know, you might be rushing into like a 2-hatch lurker play. So he needs to keep sending out these SCV scouts to make sure it's not going to be a sneaky 2-hatch lurker that will catch him off guard, which can be awkward with the wall in setup actually. So that could be something that does punish him if he doesn't identify that and he does kill it. Well, he doesn't get the SCV scout though, so at the very least we'll be able to not allow him to go for a sneaky lurker play here.
Yeah, he's able to get in here, but 2 SCVs, we're probably going to need a third. Starts to hurt. Sending all these workers out. Got to be careful. Sterling, same thing. Expansion into a gassier. We're probably going to see an eBay soon as well. Maybe we'll even see a little stem rush. I think that would be a good variant for Sterling to do.
I think we see a little bit of nerves here from Sterling, and he's trying to like I think we see a lot of cookie cutter measures, like how early these SCVs were blocking for the Lings was a little bit unnecessary. So a little bit of lost mining time, like he's lost out on like at least 100 minerals potentially, for example, on having those two SCVs there so early on when he could see with his SCV scouts that he didn't need to. So I think he's just having a little bit of a hard time finding like the optimizations in his build order to deal with someone of Crossy's level.
Yeah, I think he is playing overly safe, right? Like, and that happens sometimes. Like, you're like, oh, I'm worried, but here we have a double factory build. We're going to see some mech here from Sterling. I like this. This is a good variant, right, to go into mech.
Yeah, and I also feel like he can't quite keep up with the task interaction speed that Crossy can. So I feel like mech will be a great equalizer in that, you know, disparity in power, but he tries to get in with 4 speedlings. He sees the 2 factories, might be able to do a lot of damage, catches the SCV as it. Oh, look at the glitch! Because the machine shop stops him being able to kill the SCV. That's absolutely crazy. Does kill the other SCV, building the engineering bay on the other side, though. So this is still really annoying for Sterling to have to deal with. Zerg usually can't do a lot of damage in these situations, but even just killing 1 or 2 SCVs is huge. He does get the second SCV, finally going back to building the engineering bay. We'll be able to build these turrets on time still, just barely, but it's still a little bit of a thorn in Sterling's side having to deal with that.
You gotta remember, we lost 2 scouting SCVs and 2 SCVs there, so 4 SCVs down already, plus 2 that were blocking. Like, those little measures add up.
That's rough.
And I don't know, will this eBay be in time? Son, I'm a little nervous that it's going to be in time. Like, the mutas have already started, and I'm sure they're rallied directly to that natural.
If he starts them right now, the eBay's finishing right now. He's not building. Okay, no, he can't. He's not even building them. Okay, this is rough. The turrets will not be in time. This is bad. This is really bad, Raz. I was wrong entirely. This is so bad. I can't even explain how bad this is.
And we only have 4 Marines here. We do have some vultures on the map that are going in across his base right now, but
yeah, there's not even a medic supporting these Marines because he's trying to go mech and he needs to pull these Marines out of the bunker to protect the turrets so they can be produced, but he's not got enough to deal with that. Usually you would have a few more units, like a few more extra Marines and medics to deal with this, and he hasn't, so he's lost so many SCVs to just 5 mutas. This is crazy. Finally has some Goliaths to try and help with this zone control, but it's not going to be enough. Now we can start one-shotting these SCVs. There's no Karen boosters for a long time, so this is just going to be rough. Crossy's going to like put him between a rock and a hard place, and he's never going to get out.
There's no protection over the production, which makes me really nervous for Sterling. If Cross recognizes that, he will jump on those factories.
Yeah. And the Terran production is like the critical junction in this matchup. If you get on top of that, it's game over. So that is the critical point of weakness, the one point of failure. So we'll be wanting to camp those factories with his Goliaths at the very least and make 1 or 2 more turrets there.
Well, I thought Sterling was going to send that vulture top left. I thought he was...
Oh, that's a lot of mutalings.
Oh, no. There's nothing in the bunker, and he's going to go right into the main. Sterling here did not have those Marines in there, and that will be it.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Once he kills
his turret, there's no way Sterling come back, and there's the GG. Cross is going to take game number 2 very convincingly.
That's going to hurt the confidence of Sterling there. I wouldn't want to be him right now. Like, you know, playing live and you're 2-0 down and you just want to play an A game. Just one good game and you're losing like this. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough there. I mean, Cross is just so decisive. He's super strong, and he saw the moment there. Sterling trying to hedge his bet by being in the main over the production. Like we were worried about, he saw it. He was worried about it, showing, hey, listen, I'm a good player. I know that's the problem. But you saw Cross fly the muted down by the bunker to see if there even was anything in it. He said no. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, really decisive play from Crossy. Yeah, he's definitely understanding these behavior trees far more than our Terran player is. Unfortunately, Sterling not quite keeping up with the ABC decision making. Like he's seeing the pop-ups come up on his screen, but it's taking him a few seconds to register and click on the button. Whereas Crossy's just like click, 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 going down those decision trees like he's done it 100 times before because he has.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Cross, not an easy opponent, doing really well. Sterling back to his map pick, so he's going to have to think about what he wants to do here on New Underdark Origin. Maybe he has something up his sleeve, ready to go, little special build or something like that, you know?
Well, he's going to need to think of something. I mean, the problem is that might not be his style. He might not like going for like two-port Wraith and things like that, or like Proxy Factory, or any kind of like, you know, high finesse execution build orders. He might be way more confident with a much more mid-rangey, greedy style. And if he can't get away with that, he might not have very many options available to him. And freestyling in this kind of situation will be daunting at best. So I don't know what he's going to pull out from Down Under, but he's going to have to think of something.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he went into mech there. He tried to mix it up, try to do something different. You know, he's trying to, you know, show his versatility. It's it's definitely good, but unfortunately, cRoss just was like, I'm going to get this. And a little 4-ling run by to see what was going on end up really hurting the build that Sterling wanted to do.
Yeah, there's just a few too many holes in his early game that cRossy is very easily picking apart and just not allowing him to establish his usual build order tree. And maybe he just hasn't played against enough Zergs of cRossy's caliber to realize that, you know, he needs to tighten up this early game, because the first 5 minutes of the game are the most crucial in StarCraft. Usually, it doesn't matter if you're losing at 20, 30 minutes, unless you're making basic blunders. Like, usually the reason you lost the game can be traced all the way back to the first 5 minutes of the game.
Definitely challenging. Definitely challenging. Listen, not an easy game, and to play at this level, I mean, it's really hard. I mean, look at the names in that list there, right? Like Sterling sitting with the top of the top, playing with the top of the top, you know. So
he's a fish right now.
Yeah. So far,
yeah,
he's the new guy. You know, he's the new guy, and he's trying to figure it out. And credit to him for making it this far and battling through. But here's our final map, or not our final, but our third map. Neo Dark Origin. Let's get into it. Game number 3. Alrighty. In the top left of Neo Dark Origin, up to a looking to face John in the next round, it's cRoss. And in the bottom right, trying to battle back, looking for that reverse sweep as well, it's Sterling.
Yeah, but we know Raz doesn't think he's going to get there already with the Freudian slip saying it was the final game. I think you assume it at least is going to be a 3-0. I imagine a lot of people at home are going to think it's going to be a 3-0 as well with how things have shown thus far. There we get a first look of the cameras of both players. What can you glean from these two handsome nerds?
cRoss looking very sleek right now. Very, I think, ready to go. Sterling definitely thinking about what he's got to do here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no 8 racks, because you can wall this map, right? With the supply depot racks.
Yeah.
Oh,
the problem is, Raz, the problem is, though, is 9 scout counters 8 racks so hard on this map. So if he did go for a very fast drone scout, he could just like auto lose the game.
He's gonna put an eBay in this nap, but I was so excited for him to do something crazy.
Yeah, I like this though. This is better. This is actually safer than 8 racks, because, like I said, the 8 racks can just get hard counted by drone scout. So in a way, this is the safer cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, pool first from cRoss.
Wow, is he like? What is he just like playing on a different level right now? What is this like Jedi mind tricks, like Star Sense level stuff? Just to know to get that early pool. He might just be worried about the BBS or 8 racks potential, and that's why he's doing this instead of a drone scout. But it's gonna help him out in dealing with this eBay block.
We got 9 pool speed about to happen.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. It might even be a fast Slayer. This could be a 1-base lurker build. You never know for sure. There are quite a wide range of possibilities from Zerg in these game states, so you never quite know. And that's one of the reasons why it can be so scary playing against them and why it's so important to SCV scale. But yeah.
And the gas, too. All right, I like it. We split the base up so that he's got to actually defend 2 different places, and we're going to go mech. Love that.
Yeah.
All right, Sterling. Well played, sir.
And he's just going to be taking this hatchery at the natural third. And we might even see a normal game here, actually. You know what? It's possible. Because he's choosing to wall in and go mech like this, we might actually see a semi-normal game, despite having this eBay block.
Yeah.
Unless he doesn't
play. We're going to probably see some. I'm assuming, I don't know, I feel like Cross might go into like 3-hatch Hydra.
Well, I was about to say, unless he does a Hydra bust, we should see a normal game. So, unless he does some kind of Hydra shenanigans, yeah, this would be our first normal game of the evening out of these two. But with the eBay block already getting a little bit funky.
Still 3 on gas.
Yeah, okay.
Will we see 2-port Wraith?
2-port Wraith, maybe. I mean, this could work. Especially if he tries to play greedy and doesn't go straight into a Hydra here, this could work.
Absolutely. Oh, double factory.
Wow. Okay, I'm not so sure. I mean,
some vulture speed, some run bys. I mean, Cross sees 1 Marine, so he's definitely skeptic of what he's seeing.
With this space at the third, does make it easier for vultures to get their shenanigans. There's no way you can block that with a sunken, so you might be able to get the vultures into the main base pretty easy too if they're not paying attention. So yeah, a little bit of a hole to exploit potentially for Sterling here, but a lot of speedlings currently going to be trying to make that not transpire as the Hydra start to become produced. Now a 2-hatch Hydra is going to be the option, but with a bunker could defend going into tanks. If he identifies this, make a bunker, he will be fine, but he's not making a bunker yet. So he needs to identify this, make a bunker, and then he'll be absolutely A-okay if he does go for the Hydra bust here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see vultures with some Cross just scratching his head, very calm, collected right now.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Well, this is a very common thing you'll see at like high-level StarCraft. You'll see like a 2-hatch speed Hydra timing where they trying to crack the natural expansion area of the Terran because they know that they're trying to do a 1-base tech build and they know they've got like just a handful of Marines and nothing really else to show for it. So you can sometimes crack them like an egg. And they usually have to rely on a bunker to survive, but just a couple of vultures, no bunker at the moment. He might be able to get a lot of damage done. It will take some time to kill the depots, but no bunker in sight. So technically we'll be able to start to break open this wall soon.
Yeah, now here comes the pressure. He's going to come up right up to it. Kill some Marines. Oh, no. Okay, vultures there. Bunker going down. Should be able to hold.
Yeah, he's building the bunker on time. It should be okay. Pretty good target firing with the vultures to kill one of those Hydras as well. So far, so good for Sterling. Not too bad. Has managed to didn't just lose his Marines for free when the Hydras dove in as well. So everything looking okay. We'll want to try and repair this depot a little bit so he doesn't get supply blocked just yet at the very least and open up this position prematurely. We'll be able to get out a tank in a moment here as well. So this could be really okay for Sterling.
Yeah, I think Sterling's actually in a really good spot because Cross's eco is so low right now. The tank vultures should be able to hold this, and he should be able to get on the map, right? Like, I was a little worried, how do you get damage done? But does he need it? I mean, Cross has really made no...
Yeah, this is 9-2. This is 9-2 Hydra, so very low economy. The onus was on Cross to do a lot more with that. Now it's starting to pump drones, but honestly, like at the very worst, this is kind of even for Sterling, so he should be feeling relatively comfortable no matter what. We'll be able to like kind of push his way out into his natural with some, you know, leapfrog siege tanks as well. He needs to be careful not to lose his army unnecessarily to the Hydraling dive, so wants to very tentatively take this natural expansion.
Yeah, he's going to slowly push out there, take the base. There you go. Command center going down. Really well done from Sterling. Can definitely just kind of slowly take the space, get ahead, get 2 base versus 2 base. Cross, though, I think is going to be switching into Muta very quickly here.
Yeah, I can't imagine he won't. I mean, he's already kind of lined up to do a 2-hatch tech play already, so wouldn't be too surprising from him going forward. He hasn't really got enough of an economy to play wide, so he's going to have to play deep and go down that tech tree even more, get that spire on the way. Maybe he can overrun some of these positions that are more tank heavy because of the Hydras already out on the board. He might not make many Goliaths to deal with these Mutas that come later on, so might be able to find some weaknesses with those Mutas later on.
Yeah, for sure. With the, you know, the gas on one base for Terran makes it very difficult. So
yeah. But I mean, that kind of is how you're thinking as Zerg a little bit. You're thinking like, have they got a lot of tanks? Then I should make Mutas. Have they got a lot of Goliaths? Then I should make more Hydras. You're kind of thinking that in the long game states anyway. But even in the early game, it is a big deal because, like you say, you can't really produce both always. You've only got a couple of factories to work with. Producing a lot of tanks for the Hydras and a lot of Goliaths for the Mutas, it's hard to get that balance of unit composition right.
Yeah, I do like Sterling's position in this game. I think it was a really solid build from him. Obviously pre-planned, well done so far. Now can he execute it where he gets up to this natural, get to like 6 factories and push across the map and kill cRoss?
Yeah, it's going to end up looking more or less like a normal game. It's just that the relative game states have been set back by quite a few minutes. Much like when you go 8 racks and you attack and you kill 2 drones and you slow down the mining time early on, but the game kind of normalizes. It just like kind of resets the entire game state back a minute or so. You're kind of seeing that here, but it's being reset by quite a few minutes because of how slowed down the Terran was in getting this natural expansion up and running. But eventually we're going to be seeing more or less somewhat standard mech versus Zerg, but the Terran mech is in a much better spot because the Zerg is on the back foot catching up with this third base.
Yeah, he's definitely in a good spot now, getting that +1. I'm assuming he's probably going to be armor first because he knows that it's Zerg sitting back here, the Muta, so you're going to want armor first.
Yeah, potentially it would be an idea here. And make their army as meaty as possible. Some Mutas coming around on this southern flank, trying to catch open this SCVs that are a little bit exposed. That turret a bit too far north. 2 SCVs dangerously low. If he could get them, that'd be huge. He's starting to target the tank. He's ignoring the turrets. He just wants to soften up these positions. He's thinking maybe if he can snipe with a few of these tanks, he can come in here with a round of Hydras and maybe and do the job that way. At the very least, this is crazy. Like, he's killed so many tanks. Like, he's only got like 1 tank left. He could now commit heavily into Hydras and potentially crack open these positions, or at the very least deny the 3rd ever going down and maybe taking a 4th here.
Yeah, that was really good damage there from cRoss to be able to pick off 2 tanks. Taxing the gas even more, getting his Hydra army even stronger. I'll be curious to see if he switches back to Hydra and just going to stay in these Muta for a while. I think he's going to power here. Just a lot of drones.
It makes sense. I mean, I feel like he should just power and contain and get a 4th and just like drone, take a 4th and then like cycle between drones and Hydras, and eventually he should just win out with pure muscle, maybe.
Here we go. More harassment here on this base. Sterling's SCV count way better than the last couple games. So definitely hitting his stride a little more here.
Yeah, this is looking like the best case scenario for Sterling in terms of what we've seen before. He's actually managed to find his way into the early mid game, looking relatively normal. As long as he doesn't take too much additional damage, he does catch 2 of these Goliaths in transit from the production line. There wasn't yet much defenses on this. We can also kill this SCV, building a factory, and start to be a little bit annoying. Does try to come into the pocket in the bottom right, but there's enough units here to ward and screen that away. Honestly, this is not too bad for Sterling. Like, he's not really taking a lot of damage here. He's using a few Goliaths, but he is killing some of these Mutalisks, and honestly, he's not looking worse for wear necessarily. He's still looking pretty confident going forward. I'm liking his position.
Yeah, double armoring, gonna play these heavy upgrades, right? Just gonna get there. Got to be careful, can't bleed off Goliaths because cRoss can easily switch back into Mutant.
Look at that second spire. He's going to be doubling down into those Mutas at some point. Yeah, he's going to might be trying to do a little bit of bait and switch, make it seem like he wants to kill tanks, so he's going to flood Hydra, and then right when you start making more tanks to replace the tanks you've already lost, then you suddenly see a huge armada of Mutas just devouring you from the skies, and you can't even keep up with the Goliath production anymore. This is looking a little bit troublesome for Sterling if he doesn't identify just how heavily into Mutas that cRoss wants to commit here, because having this second spire already coming online could spell disaster down the road.
Ooh, there's a good pick there.
Yeah, this is good.
Did he get another one? Oh, did not, but
every little helps. Slowing down these expansions even just by like a few extra like 30 seconds or so is huge, and honestly, if he can somehow get this 3rd base online, it's not too big a deal still letting Crossy get this 4th base.
Yeah, and he is going into Irradiate with Vessels, so he should be able to deal with the Muta pretty well. So this is looking pretty of a strong spot for Sterling here. He's looking good, playing well.
Well, this is the biggest hope for him winning yet, that's for sure. Like, this is looking like a very playable game state for him. Maybe a slight edge, you could say, on paper. And he's catching some of these drones as well, so he's at least stopping cRossy being super greedy. And maybe able to kill another couple of drones up here would be amazing, but I think there's just barely enough units to screen that.
Yeah, cRoss just trying to hold on here, make sure he's collecting all these vulture kills. Not giving up anything cheap. Knows Terran's on 2 base, so he knows this first fight is the most important. If he can win this first fight, he will take the game and he will take the series.
Yeah. We got a lot of factories before taking this 3rd base. He's going very heavy into production before taking. He's very cautious. He doesn't want to take that and then just get completely bowled over when he moves out. Wants to get as much production going, and maybe a little bit overly cautious. Maybe should have made that CC a tiny bit earlier, but it's okay. He feels like he needs that production online. Maybe he does. cRossy is very potent, coming in now, opening up this position by killing one of those critical turret zoning that was zoning on the southern flank, and now there's not really anything to stop this. Does come in here with a science vessel, gets in a radiate. Can he split out this Mutalisk quickly? He's not even paying attention, does start to split them out. Not really too much of an issue to worry about. Can keep coming back in it if he so chooses. Only a little bit of a soften up on those mutas. He could come back in it.
Yeah, supply's very close right now. Sterling opting to take a 3rd base here, which I think is totally fine. Especially if you're going to play mech, you can try to split the map if you don't want to really push. But can he get some more damage here? Look at this, picks up 1, 2,
Nice. Ooh,
3.
good.
Picked up 3 drones there, good kills.
Yeah,
For
every little
Sterling.
helps. Yeah, I mean, a few vultures for a few drones is actually pretty worth it right now. Look at this though. The queens are out, but honestly, like if one or two good irradiates, okay, this is a little bit of a problem though. You don't want to just throw down the irradiate anytime you can. You want to like do it at an optimum moment when you know he's going to have to stand and fight you. So he's got to fight and micro at the same time. I don't know, like he wants to be more cautious with using these irradiates, I feel.
Is cRoss looking for an ensnare? Is he looking for an infested command center? He's looking for the infested command center here.
Oh yeah, he is. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Oh my god.
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness.
Oh
Will
Jesus.
we see some infested
Terrans.
Terrans?
I want to see that CC
Oh
flash.
my
He's
god,
gonna
he's
get
going
the
for
main!
the
He's
CC.
gonna get the main! This guy's an absolute... Oh, he's not! The repair! He says no! He says no! He's repairing desperately. So many SCVs, all hands on deck. The Mutalists are target firing the turrets and the SCVs. Can they kill enough of the SCVs to get the CC down? This is absolutely crazy. He's like the counterattack in the bottom left quadrant of the map. There's so many units trying to push into these Sunkens. A few Sunkens desperately sandbagging this turret in advance. He wants to get this CC infest in the main base. Is he tunnel visioning too much on this fancy play? Will he lose this defense in the top left here, Razz?
I think he's going to lose this game because of this. What is cRoss doing, man? It looks like
He's so desperate to make it work.
going crazy that he just wants to take the CC. Like, what is
What are we seeing? He's got the CC, but he might lose to the push.
He's going to go for the 3rd CC?
Oh my god. This isn't like StarCraft 2 where your base becomes revealed when you kill all the CCs, cRoss. What are we doing here, buddy? This is absolutely crazy stuff.
We're just doing crazy. Yeah, we're just doing wild stuff. I don't think he can win the game, but I think he's just trying to infest all the command centers.
I mean,
like,
he's trying to win style points right now while 2-0 up in the series, it seems like. He doesn't... Yeah, it seems like he's willing to risk it for the biscuit, because he's still got so many lives left, and he's going to get this last remaining CC. This is crazy. Like, imagine if it just set up right now, like Sterling has not repayed his base and is being revealed. If this was StarCraft 2, what are we watching?
So Sterling can't mine. He doesn't have enough money for a CC.
Yeah. This is crazy. This is
But
just bonkers.
I don't see how he wins this game. I think Sterling's going to win this game, but cRoss definitely winning some style points. I think a little smirk from him right there where he's just kind of like, yep.
But you know what's possible? Technically, he can still win the game. If Sterling's really slow in moving out with his army, maybe he built up enough of a critical mass of Mutalisks here. Maybe. Just maybe. Okay. Crossy can still win. Let's just see. He might just barely have enough neuters. Just barely. He has to still dodge the irradiates. Ooh. This is gonna be so close, Raz. I don't know what is gonna win. I think just barely. He's got 1-1 on these mutilators. I think just barely he's got it.
Wins. No,
I think he's just barely got it. I think he's just barely got it. Oh my god, I told you. Oh my god, I told you.
Invested 3 CCs. Oh my god.
Oh Jesus. And even the low HP muter and the Scourge taking out the vessel. Look at this handsome nerd winning in style here. It might be 3-0, but it's a crazy 3-0 and a 3-month super go suit to go with that.
I can't believe what I just witnessed here. He just dove for 3 command centers, got them all. Sterling can't mine. Sterling cannot build a new CC. Cross does have a mining base, and he does have Muta still.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a win here.
This is crazy.
Cross, it looks like this is insane.
Can you imagine being look at this good-mannered nerd. GG, good luck next. Sterling, we'll see you next time. Don't be disheartened, but
Alrighty, and welcome back. So we just saw Sterling versus Cross. Cross taking a 3-0. So now we have the losers bracket game. One player will advance and one player will be eliminated in the round of 8. And our two playing here is Sziky versus Sterling. So
Yeah.
Sterling, another tough TVZ incoming. But hey, listen, he's here. He knows why he's here. He's done it. So it is his moment to take another step and take down Sziky.
Yeah, he needs to remember his Terran soldier training and just assume that he's already dead so that he can still function under pressure and just play an A-game build. Maybe he can still get something going. Go factory style. Let's get mech. Maybe get some Valkyries and deal with Zyky's Mutalist micro. There's a still hope here for our Terran player.
Absolutely. He can definitely take him down. He could do his thing. He could totally mix up his builds. He could do definitely some wacky stuff. See if he can take some games off Sziky, or hey, listen, maybe just play standard. He goes, like you're saying, some mech and moves out and just tries to get him. But we know Sziky, ZBT, excellent man. I know ZVP may not be his favorite, but I think ZVT is somewhere where he thrives. He's very, very good in this matchup. Like we said before, he loves Muta. So to be able to now rely on the Muta and be able to do it is just incredible,
I mean, really, only someone like Mihu is going to shut down Zyky's Mutalisk aggression. Like, you need to have seriously high level early game defense to not take any damage from Sziky. He's just all about it. Like, his entire game plan revolves around being good in the air with those Mutalist dragon-esque units. He's like the Hungarian dragon himself. Very on brand for him.
Yeah, so I think we'll see a lot of that. I like that Sterling put in his map choices, Neo-Dark Origin. He had a really good build order there. So if they get to game 3, he'll definitely be feeling really strong, really good. We see that Sziky taking Deja Vu, ZVT here. And Dominator the first pick. It seems that Zyky's been giving up his first pick choices to the other players.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, maybe he's just like, it doesn't matter, Any place, any time, any map, doesn't matter. I will smash.
He's ready to get it. He's telling all the other players, be on notice. I'll get after you, man. I'll do it. I don't care. And we see almost an 80% win rate there for Sziky, right? Like, you notice the difference in ZBZ, ZBT versus Protoss. I mean, thinking about the Protoss he has to play in BSL between DeWalt, Bombs, John Hoon, of course, is probably going to be a little lower. But really high win rates for 80% of the other two.
I mean, it's really high. Like, you see the ladder stats as well, like 39 and 1. You can see the kind of player he is. He's that high level, high execution, micro-orientated, aggressive Zerg that's just such a nightmare to deal with. He's got 50 different ways to kill you. You don't quite know which one he's going to bash you over the head with until it's too late. You know he's going to probably utilize your Mutalist to do it, but even if you know it's coming, he probably still out-execute you and still dismantle you despite you know what the shenanigan will be. He'll still manage to pick you apart little by little.
Yeah, he is just going to plug away. I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of 2-hatch play from him again here.
Absolutely.
We're just going to see Muta, high pressure, going to get after it for sure. And our first map is Dominator, and our players are ready, so let's get into game number 1 of the losers bracket of the round of 8. Sziky versus Sterling. Here we go. Alrighty, and in the top left here on Dominator, it is Sziky. And in the mid right of Dominator, we have Sterling.
And just one camera feed available to us at the moment. I'm a little bit disappointed, but, one is better than none, perhaps.
Sziky likes to, live in the shadows, man. He doesn't want to be seen.
Hey, I can't blame him, man. A little bit of mystique can't hurt anyone, and he has got a little bit of a bad boy Zerg image. Does kind of suit him. Like, I would not want to be up against this guy in a tournament, that's for sure. Like, the aura pouring off this guy. Can you imagine that, Atlan?
Yeah, listen, he 9 full speed game 1 versus John Hoon. He's got some craziness, so he likes to just let people imagine what he's thinking, like that smirk that he may be having.
Yeah, I can imagine like a hood covering most of his face. You can just see his lips grinning at you as he's like using his mutants to dismantle you.
Oh, I'm sure he would love to see his beauty get crazy.
So what's your predictions? What's your predictions? Does Sterling somehow find his footing finally, or is this going to be another bit of a disappointing performance and he's going to be absolutely blown apart by the Hungarian Dragon?
I think he can definitely pull together. I think he can do it. Like we said, he's got here. He's beaten some big players. He surprised us all the way. I think it's just going to be him making sure he, like you said before, crosses the T's and dots the I's. Like when you're starting a game, early game, not missing SCVs, not missing your timings. Like at this level, it matters more than ever. So if he can do that, he'll be all right.
Yeah, I definitely think it's that early game he needs to be optimizing. I mean, you can't really go wrong if you're nailing your first 5 and 6 minutes. Everything kind of falls into place after that point. It's really that early game that's so crucial. That's why I'm not really a big fan of StarCraft 2 with the 12 worker start in Void of the Legacy. Kind of like non-existent early game there. But here in Broodwar, pure elite gamer mode. Like we have the most best early game we could ever have in any RTS possible.
Oh yeah, we just every second counts from the split into the late game, start to finish.
Yeah,
and I like this little wall here, man. Maybe why not get a little tricky? Put down, something crazy behind it.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Second barracks and just go crazy, like right into Academy Rush here, or do you mean like go tech heavy?
Awesome.
Okay.
No, I would say just put a second barracks and go crazy, get after it. But we're not opting that. We're playing standard. Listen, I give him credit, just playing standard, getting after it, doing some builds, and that's always tough, just to say, hey, I'm going to stand up to the best of the best. I'm going to play standard, show my game.
In a way, it's commendable. He's got the respect for himself to just play his A game, just play his standard and try his best. Maybe he can still get that puncher's chance going for him. And even if it is like a 10-20% chance at winning, depending on how bad the game state gets, he can still suddenly knock the guy out with sudden timing that busts Sziky, because Ziky's feeling a little bit cocky with his mutas or something. It can happen. Yeah,
I wonder is that tight to the top there? Because I know, like, if you put a pylon or gateway up there, it does not.
That should be tight. That should be tight.
And if you put a pylon gateway there, it's not tight.
I mean, Caster's Curse, maybe, but I'm pretty sure that should be tight.
Okay. I believe you. You would know. The lens can fit.
I would know what you're trying to say here, Raz.
I've seen you play. I know how many links you use.
I'm a little bit aggressive.
Seen how many Zerglings go into the opponent's base early for you.
I do like to spice things up a little bit in my matchups. That is true.
And we do have what looks like mech again. Yes, 2 factories. It looks like mech.
Yeah.
Let's see if we're going to see the Vulture variant, or we're just going to play straight into Goliath and defend.
Now, here's the thing. Like, Sziky is pretty good against mech, and the problem is that Ziky's very adept at utilizing very high levels of actions per minute, so he's comfortable microing in 2 locations at once. So he will happily have one control group of mutas at the natural expansion, another control mutas outside the main base, and just keep ping-ponging those Goliaths back and forth between the 2 bases and make it very difficult to defend those locations from both flocks of mutas. So we might be seeing something like that from Sziky in this game if he identifies that there's no way of abusing the Goliath point defense by just coming from both angles at once. So he does have the execution to do that.
Absolutely. Be curious to see if Sterling is just going to go like 2 base, 5, 6 vac and go into it, or is he going to play into a 3rd CC like last time? I think these heavy mech early play push-outs are pretty strong right now, so I'm interested to see what he decides and how he's going to play this game out. Definitely looks much safer, much more comfortable than the Crossy games. Like just hitting his build, doing what he's going to do. Nothing, missing a beat yet from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I mean, I really do just want to see some much more standard games out of Sterling. I want to see a lot more mid-game phase. We did have a very quick 3-0 against Crossy. I want to see a little bit more of a drawn-out best-of series here. It is only a best-of-3, but I want to see a nice, clean best-of-3. Nothing too crazy. No, like, early 5-minute wins. And hopefully see some mid to late-game phases. Already, though, catching those 2 vultures with those mutas is a big pickup. You want to kind of have the threat of those mutas out on the map to keep the mutas that worried about them, and now they can just beeline it to the Terran player, both on the ground with the lings and the mutas in the air, and not even worry about anything potentially coming in now.
Are these turrets gonna make it? I didn't think so, and they
Oh,
don't.
no,
And now we have 6 Muta on 2 Goliaths.
This is so flimsy. This is the problem with Terran. Like, there's some like real points of weakness where you can get exploited if you're not on top of your timings, and you need to have perfect mineral optimization to sometimes hit those timings, especially when you're like going for these like mid-rangey styles where you're trying to get factories and Goliaths out and have forward turrets. It's really difficult to do everything and still get everything done on time, and it looks like he's just barely not been able to do it. Also, some Lings running by that bunker with a single Marine in it. Not going to be enough of a defense here, and Sziky going to be getting a very early tactical win, it looks like. It's just too much damage for Sterling to weather. GG already called.
Yeah, unfortunate again from him there. Just timing a little bit off. We saw right there, 3 seconds makes the difference at this level, and you need to get those turrets up. I mean, factory play against 2-hatched Muta, you need the turrets. You can't just rely on a couple Goliaths. They get shot down. You got to get those defenses up. So unfortunately for him, timing wasn't as crisp as it needed to be, and Sziky going to take a 1-0 here early in this series.
Yeah. I mean, not too surprising. Sziky is just so good. If you're not on top of it at all, he will find a little weakness to exploit. You can't show him any weakness. You gotta be like an armadillo that like curls up and not show him any of your weak underbelly, and just show him that thick like armor hide only, and make him think that you're sewn up like a duck's butt the entire time.
Yeah, you really gotta be ready, man. You know, these guys don't miss these timings. They don't for a second, so you got to be ready. Unfortunately for Sterling, we're going into Deja Vu, which is Zyky's map, and our players are ready, so let's get into game number 2 between Sziky and Sterling. Right in the top left corner, looking to get a win here, it's Sterling. And in the bottom right, looking to advance in the loser's bracket, it is Sziky. Alrighty. Or is he gonna continue to go standard, or are we gonna finally mix it up and get crazy here?
I mean, it's only a matter of time, I think, before we get a little bit crazy. Sziky might, like Crossy, smell blood in the water and want to try and, like, you know, add a little bit of spice to the mix. Get a little bit creative with the results here. Hopefully for Sterling's sake, it doesn't get too crazy. He's already had to suffer 3 CCs becoming infested. It's already commendable that he's playing at a high level now after dealing that kind of emotional damage, honestly. Like, a lot of flex tape will be needed to seal up the wounds after that and try and push on forward undeterred. Although, I mean, it is kind of like, this is the problem with Terran in general. You kind of have to like get through a lot of hurdles before you reach the next plateau, and it can feel like you're not making much progress in any given matchup or over the course of training sessions, because there's so many things you have to tick off the list before you can progress to the next plateau of skill.
I think you said it early in the cast. This matchup is so fragile for both sides, right? Like, one little engagement, one little timing miss, you just lose, right? Like, you're dealing with bio, you're dealing with Zerg units that are weaker, so definitely can feel that way, especially at this level. And Sziky again playing standard 12 hatch, nothing crazy. Just gonna probably want to hit his build and play the game out.
Right. Yeah, no, I love to see the 12 hatch from Sziky. You don't need to be too fancy with any early pulls here. Just get your hatchery out on time so you can hit your 2 hatch timings no matter what, and really put the pressure on the Terran player and control the game state early on by getting those 2 hatch tech builds out. And yeah, as you see him getting the pull and the extractor at the same time, just so we can optimize that layer timing as much as possible so that the Spire is as crisp as can be, and then it's even more likely to exploit a bad turret timing like we've been seeing before.
I really wish Sterling would have mixed it up, man. I feel like he's playing the same kind of build variation, and like these guys are kind of just seeing it like, I'm just gonna hit my build. Like, it would have been nice just to throw something crazy in there, man. I think that's always the power in a series, to throw something wild. But I get why maybe not this game. It's your last life here. If you mess up, it's over. But
it is like he's been playing much more cautious with his last life, right? You can't necessarily fault him for that.
Sziky, using his drone to fight a Marine here. Hits it for one shot.
Well, if you do get a couple of hits on the Marine, can help you out later on with the Lings. If you do get in there before the medics are out, can sometimes be a factor if there's no bunker, but usually doesn't factor in, but it's something.
Yeah. All right, everything seems pretty standard here. Sterling early gas again.
Yeah, okay.
So it looks like we're probably going to play more mech.
I mean, I don't blame him. I think he kind of has to keep up with this echelon of Zerg. He's just going bio. He just will not be able to keep up with them. Like he'd be going down a beaten path that he doesn't know as well as these other guys. You know, they're going to be like waiting for him behind every possible ambush spot and just like really making his day so difficult. It's just not a path that he knows as well as these other guys. He's trying to go mech, trying to, you know, establish himself in a route that these guys aren't as familiar with. They haven't had as much practice against mech simply because no one usually goes for it.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to see it again. Here comes the factoring. All right, we're going for some more mech. He is determined to make it work. Now, Sziky should be a little confused here seeing non-stop Marine production, right?
Yeah, I would say so. He should be smithing.
Against cRoss, he did go for a 1-1-1. So maybe that's what we're going to see here as well, because he's... Nope, second factory goes down.
Yeah, just go straight up mech again. I think 1-1-1's too flimsy here. I think he's worried going 1-1-1. He won't be able to navigate that against Sziky as well. There's just too many transitional points of weakness to deal with. The Ling speed timings, the Mutaling timings, and there's just so many things that can go wrong relying on such a low amount of units for Terran. And the turret timers have to be super crisp as well. I just don't think it's going to be a good option here. I kind of prefer this from him. I like this a lot more.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll go with the 2 vultures early again, or if we're actually just going to go right into an armory with range, because it looks like we'd like to add it on and then make the 2 vulture, but
yeah,
not sure it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I know what you mean earlier, but he needs to kind of mix it up to deal with Sziky. He could have gone for a Valkyrie rush as the only other option here, but again, it's just too flimsy of an option. I feel like he would just get dismantled by Sziky to try and go for a bit of a tactical option like that. I think this is a much more safer route for Sterling to navigate. I'm not too sure if he will be able to take out someone of Sziky's caliber doing it, though. Like, Sziky seems to be very adept at figuring out ways of pulling you apart. You see the Lings here just sneaking around the back of the Minerals, being a super annoying. Maybe just getting a run by into the main base. Vulture's trying desperately to stop that. Looks like actually Sterling completely shutting that down. So best case scenario for him, also denying some scouting. But how come out the Mutas? Are these turrets in time?
I was going to say, I think the Lings are there to distract him, and now the turrets are not up, and we have no turrets on the production once again. If Sziky gets right onto the factories, the game is over.
Yeah. Turrets aren't on time on the factories, the production. He might focus on the natural expansion. The Vultures are buying some precious seconds. He does kill both of those, but now he won't go straight for the production line. He's bought a few precious, like maybe 10 or 20 seconds that he now won't get on top of these SCVs, building those 2 turrets. He now will finish these 2 turrets, has the 2 Goliaths protecting them, and with the 2 turrets in the main base mineral line, he's looking pretty okay now. So a little bit of a crisis aversion, but we'll be taking some SCV losses as these 7 mutas swing around. Gets 3, now 4 SCVs in total. Wants to try and find at least 6. Almost finds those 6. Just needs 1 more to make that 6 count, but doing pretty good so far. There's that 6th SCV, so pretty handsome lead already for Sziky. Now just wants to focus on maybe trading out 1 or 2 of these Goliaths if he can. Then he'll be looking pretty good going into the mid game.
That Muta micro, just incredible, man. 6 Muta right now. Killed 9, 10 SCVs, 2 Goliaths.
This is crazy. Yeah, and he pulled away the low HP Muta as well, so he's like really maximizing his potential here. This is really ideal from Sziky. Almost optimal game state here from him, as some drones are now transferring over to that 3rd base to try and get that 3rd gas online soon. Yeah, pretty much everything looking really Sziky favored now.
Yeah, Sziky able to get a lot of kills. Probably going to fly back in here for a few more SCV kills. The more he can get, the better he's going to continue to feel. We see that Sziky's supply is now overtaken Sterling's.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. I mean, we see, oh, is he a better bio switch? He's going back into bio. I mean, maybe it can work. I kind of feel like you need to get something to put these Mutalisks on the clock, like a Valkyrie or a Vessel. Valkyries build faster, maybe those. I'm not sure the bio switch is the right option, but he's going to go for it anyway. It's like, maybe it can work. I don't know, but it's a desperate move, and I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't necessarily think this will pan out for him, but I guess it's his only last hope. This is like Padawan right now. Like he's helping Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I do think that if he can get it versus like Hydra, like if he thinks that he's going to switch into Mass Hydra, Bio fights fantastically well versus that. But
yeah,
the trick is making it there now.
Yeah,
that's going to be the trick here.
This, I just don't see it. Like he's killed.
Right now.
Yeah, he's killed so many SCVs. Like he's killed at least a dozen SCVs in this game. He only needs to kill 6 to be in a comfortable position. He's killed double that, and he's still on time with his 3rd gas. So he's going to be all hands on deck. Now we see the biomech transition. I wonder if he's going to build a little bit of Goliath still, or is it going to be pure bio from this point onwards. But either way, I don't think it's going to go so well here for Sterling. I feel like Zyky's micro is just going to absolutely obliterate him.
I'm curious to see what Zyky's response is when he sees this academy blinking. Like, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's a small chance. Oh yeah, he had his screen lingering on it. Did you see that? He had his screen lingering on that position for a few seconds while his muters are running out. I think he was looking at the academy, like probably scratching his head, like you were just thinking there, like what? And now he might know.
Why is that blinking? So maybe that's going to trigger him to make a response, because I feel like Mass Muta may not be the option here versus the bio, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he can get a lot done with the Mures, but he will have to maybe transition. Yeah, he will eventually have to transition with that coming online. Maybe. Oh wow! I think he feels like he's got enough. The 2 turrets might not be enough to buffer. He's completely ignoring targeting those as well. Just getting splash damage onto those. But now turning tuck tail and run. Didn't have enough. The DPS +1 of the Marines coming online early enough to get into relevancy for these trades. And with that +1 upgrade on those Marines, we'll be able to find the better of the end of the stick here. And Sterling finally with a tiny glimmer of hope.
Double Spire again. What is going on with double Spires all the time?
Yeah, he likes his mutas, man.
Yeah, but we saw Cross do it as well, and this is not pure.
Right.
This is going to be bio and mech.
Well, there's a chance that this could punish Zyky if he gets a little bit cocky with his mutas and gets caught with his pants down, and suddenly the tempo will switch. Yeah,
we've seen.
This could happen. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we see a Sterling comeback? I would be so hyped if somehow Sterling wins this game and then wins this series. I'd be so hyped for him. That'd be a great little like story arc. But look at these turrets being picked apart. Like slowly but surely, Zyky is trying to open up the position. We finally have these 4 racks coming online enough that we'll have a critical mass that has been reached from these bio units that he can start to just push out onto the map. It's taken him a long time though, so maybe Zyky's got enough mutas built up now that he can kind of keep coming back in here, killing these SCVs over and over again, forcing him to have to stay back with units to defend his own workers. So we can't really move out onto the map with full force.
My fear is that Zyky's going to make like 7 Sunkens at each base and continue to kill the SCVs and be like, all right, like, cool. You're pushing across the map, you're going to get me, but not really, because I have a bazillion Sunkens and I've killed every SCV that you have.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really got that many medics with this force as well. Now got 3. That's like the bare minimal amount for this amount of Marines. It's not ideal. Has got another force coming out. If he can keep getting a big enough army together, maybe there will be enough bio units to storm through the Zerg. But I don't know, the longer this game goes on, the more I'm starting to become worried for our Terran player Sterling from America here.
Yeah, he's definitely got some issues, but I don't know if there is a timing here. It's not a build that we normally see. Maybe will trick Zyky a little bit and how he responds. I'm not quite sure if he'll be able to bust through. I mean, he has a ton of bio there. That's 1-1.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. I mean, maybe, just maybe, like one good fight, and all of a sudden it's all over for Sziky.
Yeah.
It can happen. There's no Sunkens behind this, so just one good fight is all he needs. Starting to come across the map with his army now, while Sziky is just putting on the pressure at this natural expansion. So he's kind of calling Ziki's bluff right now. He's just going to move with his entire army. Sziky might think that his army's turning to come and help with this, but no, he now sees with his overlord that the army has been committed to move out the entire time. Finally has to move out with his mutas. He has about 3 control groups worth of mutalist, 2 out on the field and 1 back in his main base, with 2 spires getting double upgrades. It hasn't yet got this 2-2 online, so maybe there's a window here for Sterling to break through.
Here it is. This will be the final engagement. And it looks like Sterling is doing pretty good here with this bio. Ooh, maybe not.
I think it's just barely enough. I think he's just, but the Sunkens will sandbag the rest of the push is the only problem. So I think just barely Sziky holds on, and if there's nothing to put the mutalist on the clock like Valkyries or Vessels, you're kind of committed to this push. And if you can't break the Zerg and the Sunkens slow you down, there's no way of really winning this game for Sterling. This game is maybe over soon.
Yeah, Sterling's going to need to go for a bust here and go for it now. Because if he continues to wait versus Mass Muta and Sunken, he is just going to die. Like, there's just no chance to bust her at all.
Yeah.
Now would be the moment, right? The Muta are at his nat. Oh my goodness. We got 5, 6 Sunkens down now. Muta just going.
He's going to force the bust now, but I think there's like 3 Sunkens, 5 Sunkens now in the natural expansion. This is getting a little bit too much to handle. Only 3 medics. You need about 1 medic per Sunken to bust comfortably. So he will lose at least about half of these Marines to break through, but he will technically break through. Maybe there's a hope and a prayer here for Sterling.
It's looking pretty good. He's busted the nat.
There's some more coming from the north, though. He might overrun this position. Hey, there's a tiny hope and a prayer. Oh, but the muta's coming in from the north. Oh, there's no energy on these medics as well. 2-1 upgrades have finished. Not quite getting that second Carapace upgrade, but it doesn't really matter anyway. I think that was the last hurrah from Sterling. I don't know how he's going to build up enough critical mass. Desperately trying to get this 3rd base online, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep hold of that as soon as Sziky scouts it. I guess maybe there's a chance he doesn't scout it, but I think he's going to instinctively know to check there.
Yeah, he's going to take a peek, or he's going to catch it before it's done. Sterling trying to take that, ninja base there. Not going to work out for him. Sziky just making a ton of muta. Hey, listen, there's no Queen's Nest this time. That's good news. We don't got to see any more infested command centers, at least. So,
I mean, there is at least that.
Sziky continuing on mass muta versus a bio Goliath army. I mean, if he was on like 2-3 base, I can say, all right, Sterling, maybe you got some shots.
Raz, how bad does it have to be where you're saying at least my command centers aren't being infested?
It's not good news. I'm going to be honest. It's not good news.
Yeah.
But listen, he does. I don't think he realizes that Sziky's on 4 bases either.
No.
I think he's scanning that natural. We got a Valk. I don't know, man. We still got. I
maybe
think we got hope.
I think it's a little bit too little too late, but technically with the Valkyries, there is a chance. If you can get like 2 or 3 Valkyries going, but he needs to be careful not to lose them. Don't let him target that down. Okay, keep pulling it back. Don't be too cute with it. Don't be too cute. Just repair it up if you need to. Just be chill. Just be chill.
Yeah, just repair, get back, do what you got to do.
Ooh, he's trying to dog these mutas, and he's playing with fire. Like Sziky sees that he's being too aggressive, he will just turn around and snatch that out of the sky and delete those Valkyries.
Yeah, we got Sziky just like saying, all right, I'm just going to make 12 Sunkens, man, and that's it.
Yeah, just sandbag with Sun, because there's no tanks with this push. It's just a little, kind of a helpless biomech army without tank support. You can't really bust through Sunkens efficiently anymore. Goliath's just not really that good at chewing through things on the ground, especially if they're not Zerglings. So not ideal here for Sterling, but might be enough meat to this army to get something done, especially with the point defense of the Valkyries to help with the flock of mutas. He needs like 4 or 5 Valkyries. So far we got 3. I mean, there's a lot of mutas, but they're out of position right now. He's going for the push, and looks like it's going to be a bit of a base trade scenario. Sziky looks like he wanted to go for the main base, but now most of the mutas turning around. He's kind of hesitating. Now he's thinking about just purely defending, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe Sterling could bust here, man. We got 3 Valkyries, Goliaths,
Ooh,
Bio,
maybe.
versus only 4 Sunkens. This
Maybe.
could be. We're leading with the Goliaths. Not a good idea. They can't get healed. They'll tank, but.
Man, can you imagine if he somehow does it? He does catch one of the Valkyries, though. Only one Valkyrie in point defense mode. Here come the mutants from the left-hand side. Some Zerglings on the ground to help sponge and soak up and do some DPS as well. Pretty good engagement from Sziky, though. I think there's just way too many mutants to chew through for those Marines on the ground. There's very valiant effort here from Sterling, but it's going to be the last hoorah. He tried to throw a holy hand grenade into the mix and hope for the best. Didn't quite have enough explosion radius, though, unfortunately. And there's going to be a 2-0 victory, I feel, for a Hungarian Dragon. GG, well played, called from Sterling. Good luck next. Wow, Sziky's just too good.
Yeah, what a interesting build there. I really like that he did make
Consistent guys, always grinding, always hustling, always committing to the cause. Every month here, the Wolf of Wall Street himself, Andrew, at $200 a month. Then we're looking over at the Bombastic General at $100 a month. My fleeting dream. And then Bombastic Colonel, $50 a month. Striker, and then Bombastic Major, $30 a month. Tim and Tupocalypse, you guys are awesome. All of you are so awesome. And Bombastic Major, $20 a month. Yujang, Medino, Stephen Robertson, KJ Streaming Channel, Daniel Lopez, LML, Nicholas Schuler, and Scheming Gypsy. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for everyone's for supporting to keep these amazing casting games going. I really appreciate it. And make sure you keep tuning in because we got a lot of StarCraft left in this BSL19 here.
Yeah. And you and me are back here tomorrow, buddy, to get some more great games underway. Oh, yeah.
Back and ready to go, man. Gotta make it happen.
Make it happen, Captain. I'm looking forward to already. Some great players to look forward to, guys. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you same time tomorrow. Please come back and join us. Thank you so much.